Hey guys, it's Natalie. I'm here to bring you my TBR for the Monsterathon. The Monsterathon is being hosted by Kate at Chaptercviii. It is a readathon that is competitive. It is my first time to compete in a readathon, so I'm very excited. We have 3 teams. We have the Haunts, the Beasts, and the Conspiracies, and I am Team Haunts all the way. So I'm going to tell you all the books that I will be reading to hopefully bring Team Haunts a win. So just lay back and stay tuned. Now, in this Monsterathon, we are not counting pages. Each page counts as a villager that has been terrorized. So isn't that pretty cool? I think it's pretty cool. And then there are 8 prompts that we follow, and I believe we get 250 villagers terrorized each. I'm not completely sure. I will definitely be linking down the Monsterathon announcement video that tells you all the directions and whatnot in the description. But right now, let's just get to the books that I'm going to read. The first prompt is classic horror creature, meaning it just needs to be a creature that is known as being a horror creature. It could be a werewolf, it could be, you could read Frankenstein. Kate said it does not have to actually be a classic, and I decided I would go with zombie because I have a book that has been sitting on my shelf for the longest time, and I've been looking at it going, I'm not sure when I'm going to get around to reading that because it's kind of a weird sounding book. Some of you might even know what I'm about to hold up. So I will be reading Alice in Zombieland by Gina Showalter. Now, in this book, the main character is obviously a girl named Alice, and I guess her whole family is destroyed by zombies. I don't know if they're killed by zombies or they've become zombies, but I know she's been left alone because of zombies. And in this book, she is out to avenge them, and it's going to somehow also kind of follow Alice in Wonderland in some kind of way. I picked this book up a couple of days ago and read the first few pages, and the first few pages did very much sound like the beginning of Alice in Wonderland, except they were talking about zombies. But I'm very interested to see how this book turns out. I picked this up at a used bookstore and used it as a book haul book, and it's just been sitting there. I bought it because I thought it sounded strange, and Kate has now given me the perfect excuse to pick it up and see what it's all about. The second prompt is what big eyes you have, and basically you just need to read a book that is over 400 pages. For this, I've picked Nocturna by Maya Montagne. Hopefully I'm saying that correctly. A lot of you have probably seen this in the background because I believe this cover is absolutely gorgeous, but it is over 400 pages, and I think it's about time I find out what is behind this beautiful cover. This book has 2 main characters. The first main character is named Finn. She is a magical thief that she can make her face. She can turn her face into anybody, which I think I remember telling you guys I thought sounded really cool. And then our second main character is Alfie. He is the prince who is going to be king, but he wasn't supposed to be king. It was supposed to be his older brother, but his older brother has been either killed or taken, or something has happened with the older brother. And together, these two have somehow unleashed some dark magic that could destroy like the whole world, I guess, or this whole fantasy world, because this is not happening on Earth, and they have got to save it. And that is all I know, but it sounds amazing, and I hope this book is as great as this beautiful cover I've been displaying forever. The next prompt is Chimera, which basically means I need to pick a book that falls under multiple genres. And I have picked Lair of Dreams by Libba Bray. This is the second book in the Diviners, I believe, is it a trilogy? Maybe it's a series. I'm not sure. All I know is I read the first book in January and absolutely loved it. It's basically historical fiction because it's set in 1920s New York, and you really feel like you're there. It is so exciting. You have like the flappers. It's the roaring 20s. Our main character is Evie, who has the power to, I believe, touch things, if I'm remembering correctly, and she can kind of see something about them. I don't know. She gets her powers from touching things. I don't remember what she sees. I guess when I start reading this, hopefully they'll remind me. And what I know about the second one is now she's become a radio sweetheart, because back in the 1920s, they did not watch TV. They sat by their radio, so that should be really exciting. And there's also supposed to be some kind of weird sleeping sickness that is, hit New York City, and the other diviners, along with her, are trying to enter people's dreams, I guess, to save them from the sleeping sickness. I'm not really sure. I do remember the first book was wonderful and also very scary in some parts. Sometimes I had to put the book down if I was reading it at night and pick something up that was a little more lighthearted because it got really, really dark. But it was also really, really long. I remember it took me forever. So I will definitely be starting this immediately since I have so much to get through, but also so excited to be back in this world. The next prompt is real monsters, talking about real people in this world that can be monsters. So I guess it could be like a true crime book. Maybe you could read a book about Nazis. Now, the book I picked might be a little controversial, so I want to make sure I state this before I show you this. I do not believe in any way that police officers are monsters. Not at all. My husband's best friend is a police officer. I have nothing but respect for police officers. They do so much. They put their life on the line, and they are so underpaid. It's absolutely ridiculous. But in this book, you might know what I'm about to hold up. In The Hate U Give, this book does talk about, I don't know if it's 1 or 2 cops who are kind of bad apples, who are very racist and innocent. I believe an innocent African-American teenager is killed in the story, and then the main character has to deal with that. So that's why I'm using this for real monsters. But like I said, I do not see police officers as monsters. I do not want anybody to think that. I just think, like with every profession, you get some bad apples, and when it comes to police officers, when you get some bad apples, you can get some dangerous situations going on. So The Hate U Give, I know I'm probably the last person in the world to read this book. I know the movie's already out. I've been wanting to read it, and I can't wait to read it. I heard it's wonderful. Now, the next prompt is unsightly. Now, it's supposed to be kind of maybe to read like a graphic novel or like a manga kind of a thing, and I hope what I've picked will work, because technically it's not a graphic novel and it's not a manga, but it is a book that has lots of pictures in it, so hopefully it will work. And it's A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness. And let me show you what I mean. Hopefully y'all be able to see this. It has lots and lots and lots and lots of pictures in it. I've been wanting to read it forever. It's the only book I could find that actually says monster on it. So I'm hoping that it will count. If it doesn't, guys, just let me know in the comments. I have a library that has tons of manga and comic books. I can pick something else, but I'm hoping that this will be okay, because I think this would actually take longer to read. So I'm not like giving myself, you know, an easy way out. I think this is going to take longer to read than a graphic novel. So like I said, hopefully this will work. If not, let me know. Oh, what it's about. I didn't even tell you guys what it was about. Basically, it's just supposed to be about this monster that shows up after midnight, but it isn't the monster that Connor's been expecting. He's had one that's from a nightmare that he's had every night since his mother started her treatments. But this monster is something different, something ancient, something wild, and it wants the truth. And I've been told that this book is going to make me cry. So I don't know why. You guys told me Heartless was going to make me cry, and it was very sad. It didn't make me cry. Books rarely make me cry, but hey, maybe this will be one of those other exceptions. I will definitely let you know. All right, our next prompt is Angry Mob, a book that has been recommended to you by more than one person. And this is probably not at all a scary book, but I'm going to be reading Sculpt Yourself by Savi, who is one of our, I said Savi, it's Savvy, by one of our booktubers. I bought this a long time ago because I wanted to read her book. She's an indie author, and so many people have read it. I've never seen anybody give it lower than 4 stars. I've seen a lot of people give it 5 stars, so I'm hoping that this is going to be good because I know the author. And this book, we have 3 main characters, Amber, Judy, and Kelly, and there's this drug called Lipomorph that lets you basically sculpt your body, and I guess in this book it's supposed to explain why so many celebrities in the 2010s, I'm thinking Kardashians, who are able to have very thin waists but very plump bottoms, and that they use this drug. I'm not saying the Kardashians use this drug. I'm thinking that's where she got the idea from. So yeah, I can't wait to read this. I think we should be supporting our indie authors. I hope to be an indie author one day. The next prompt is Sacrifice, and this is supposed to be a book that you saw in an unhaul video, not a haul video, which I do make haul videos occasionally, but an unhaul video. And I don't watch unhaul videos regularly. I don't make unhaul videos. Those are one of the videos I just don't care for. It's just, I don't really understand why some people like them. I understand why you would watch a book haul, because it's people bringing in and they're excited about these new books, but in an unhaul, for those of you who don't know, that's when people are showing the books that they are taking off of their shelves and either, you know, taking them to the library or donating them, or I don't think anybody throws them in the trash. I hope nobody's throwing books in the trash. So I guess I don't watch them because I'm like, why do I want to watch you put books that maybe you didn't like and tell me about the books you didn't like and why you're taking them off your shelf? But I'm not saying anything bad about those who do watch them. I do know a lot of people who love them, and I know a lot of people who do not understand why I watch book haul videos. They have said to me, Natalie, I don't understand, because in a book haul they're not telling you, they're not reviewing the book, they haven't read the book, they just bought it, so why do you want to watch them? I'm like, I don't know, I just get excited that they bought them. I don't know. So everybody likes what they like. But anyway, let me get on to the book because I'm just running my mouth and jibber jabbering. Anyway, so when I was watching the unhaul video, I saw somebody was unloading the Beautiful Creatures series, which I also had bought this book. I think I bought this at BookCon. Now you might be saying, oh, so you want to read a book that they didn't like. But no, this is what this person said. They said they love the first book, and it was the other books, which I don't even own, that they didn't like. So they didn't like where the series went, but this book they love. So I'm very excited to be reading Beautiful Creatures. It's a big one. This book has two main characters. One is named Lena. She supposedly moves to this town called Gatlin. It's like a small southern town, and she has this like secret magical power of some sort, and she also has some kind of curse on her family that's gone back generations. The other main character is supposed to be this guy named Ethan, who keeps having these dreams about this beautiful girl. I'm assuming it's Lena, or that would be disappointing. And somehow they have to come together and find out why they are connected. I am sure there is so much more to this story, considering that this is a big old book, and that is probably just a tiny, just little hint of what this book is about. But like I said, I've heard people say this book is really, really great, and I just won't enjoy the sequels. Well, I usually only read the first book in a series, so that will work out great for me. Now, the next three books are our team books. Now, you can read you need to read your team book, that's important, but you can also read the other team's books to get additional villagers that have been terrorized. Well, since I am on the hunt, I needed to read a book with a dead or undead character. So I'm finally going to be picking up The Afterlife of Holly Chase, and I'm so excited because there are so many booktubers who have said this is one of their all-time favorite books. From what I know, Holly was visited like Scrooge was visited by three ghosts at some point in her life, but she did not learn her lesson or change her ways. She thought it was ridiculous, and then when she dies, I don't know, I guess maybe as punishment, she has to become the ghost of Christmas present or past, or I'm not sure. She has become one of the three ghosts in the afterlife, and finds out that this whole Scrooge thing is actually a business, and it's very common, and lots of people have this experience on Christmas Eve where they get visited by three ghosts, and hopefully you change your ways. So I'm very excited. This is kind of maybe a Christmassy book, but it's it's September, guys. We're coming on to September. It's starting to be that kind of season. All the stores are going to have all the Christmas stuff out, and this just sounded perfect for that prompt, so this is what I'll be reading for that. Now, the bees, they have to read a book that has monsters that are animal-like or plant-like, and like so many of you, I struggle going, I don't know, until Kate did her tag where she was recommending books. And so I think 100,000 other people out there who are doing this readathon. I don't think there's 100,000 of us, but I think probably 80% of us who are doing this readathon are reading this book for this challenge. And that is Wilder Girls by Rory Power, because supposedly we got people changing into plant-like animals, and I went, oh, that sounds pretty cool. Now, in this one, our main character is Hetty. She's at a boarding school that's been quarantined for 18 months because there's something called, I don't know, the tox that's coming to their school and is making them either die or change into these weird plant-like creatures, as I've been told. And at first, the girls stay in the school, I guess just hoping and praying that a cure is coming, and they avoid the forest that is around the school because that has also been affected some way by the tox. I guess it's made the forest really creepy. And unfortunately, Hetty, I guess one of her best friends, goes missing, and so the girls are now forced to go into this crazy forest. So not only are they turning into plant-like creatures, the forest is somehow affected by this toxin. It's called the tox, I don't know. And it's been referred to as a girls' version of Lord of the Flies. So I don't know, a lot of things going on in this book. I think it's really cool that so many of us are reading it. We should probably have a live show just about this book since so many of us are reading this. Hint, hint, Kate. Maybe. I don't know. It's an idea. Now, the Conspiracies, for their team book, they have to read a book about a monster that really just doesn't fall under a typical category. And so for that, I'm going to be reading The Devouring Grey. I've been looking at this book forever and really wanting to read it. The main character in this book is Violet, who moves back with her mother to her mother's town where the mother grew up. And supposedly in this town, there's this alternate dimension. It's been kind of described as being like the Upside Down from Stranger Things. I don't know, that's what I've been told. And that there are monsters and whatnot in this alternate dimension. And then there's these families, there's 4 families in the town that have magical powers that somehow can protect the rest of the town from this alternate dimension. I guess. I don't know. That's all I know. It sounds really exciting, so I'll be reading this for the Conspiracies book, because that's definitely a monster or terror thing that does not fit into a normal category. Now, for this Monsterathon, we also need to read a short story out of Neil Gaiman's Unnatural Creatures, which is a book or an anthology of short stories that I don't know if he actually wrote any of the stories, because I know there's a lot of other authors that have stories in this book, but Kate has picked a story for each team. And the Haunts are supposed to read the story called Come Lady Death, so that should be interesting. I have no idea what that's about. We are also allowed to read the other team's stories. I believe one of the teams has it where it's just a spot, like it doesn't have a title, it just has like a spot. Kate showed it in the announcement video. So you definitely need to read your team's short story, but you can also read the other team's short stories to also get points. There's also supposed to be video challenges. This is the first one. You needed to do a TBR. One of them is a wrap-up, so those are 2. I don't know what the other 3 are. I've been working all week. I got a long-term sub job last minute, so I probably might need to jump on Twitter or Instagram or whatnot and find Kate's or the Monsterathon or whatever and find out, because I'm sure I'm not completely in the know about everything going on. So I don't know if any of those video challenges have been announced yet. If you know, or you know where I can get that information, please leave it in the comments. Also, as I always say, please follow me on Twitter and Instagram. I promise to follow you right back. So that's all I have. I am super excited about this Monsterathon. I think the Haunts are totally going to win. I really hope so. I'm going to try to do my best as a member of that team. And so that's all I have. I will see you guys in the next video. See you later. Bye-bye.